Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We welcome you, whatever time and wherever in the world you are listening. We are pleased you have found us. You are now listening to Inside the Bunghole, a podcast taking you on a journey through wine. Together, we will learn more about this wonderful elixir of life. So raise your glass to welcome your hosts and partners in wine, Pam and James. You are now inside the Bunghole.
Okay, happy Beaujolais Day, everybody. Welcome inside the bunghole. The Beaujolais est arrivé.
Mais oui,
right?
yes.
Is that how you say it?
Beaujolais est l'arrivée.
There you go. So, hey, the Beaujolais has arrived. So we are sitting here. It's Pam and James and Armand, and we are sitting here with our good friend and sommelier, Katie Finn, that has the Desert Wine Shop that is now in La Quinta.
Yeah.
Yep. And she has been on our podcast way back in the beginning. You may remember her, and she's such a delight.
Oh,
Thank you for coming. She's
you.
so full of knowledge. If you need to know about it and it has anything to do with wine, Katie Finn's her gal.
I'll tell you everything you didn't want to know about wine, too.
Yep.
So why don't you tell? So Beaujolais Nouveau.
Yeah. Big deal in France. The third Thursday of the month of November, they release the Vin de Première, the first kind of wine of the season. It was originated to be the celebration of the end of harvest. And so it was kind of an underground kind of secret thing amongst the farmers in Beaujolais, because obviously France, they like their rules.
They like the rules.
And their laws a lot. So the after harvest, they would get together. They would take the freshest of the gamay, put them in a bin and ferment them, and then basically wait just a few weeks and then pop it and drink it and celebrate, because it was like adult Kool-Aid. It was, kind of I guess the beer equivalent of wine, like a lager or a pilsner, right? But
Young and wild.
right, instead of drinking a beer, you drink Beaujolais Nouveau.
No barrels? Just
Yeah, no barrels.
oh
So yeah, right, tank to bottle.
no.
And it is carbonic maceration, which means give us a clue what they do with that.
Okay, so it not to get super nerdy, because I love getting super nerdy, so rein me in if I do. But basically, it's fermentation without oxygen. The grapes go whole clusters, so stems and whole grapes, into a bin, and the bin is filled with CO2 or carbon dioxide. Basically, at that point, it's sealed so the carbon dioxide doesn't release. The weight of the grapes on the top crush the grapes on the bottom, and this sparks kind of a fermentation to happen, what we call intracellularly, right? So the sugars start fermenting inside the grapes before the grapes are crushed, and they just start bursting. And what I find is, more than anything, it's a textural thing, right? So it's an oxygen-free environment, so fresh, fruity, vibrant, but the wine almost feels spritzy on your palate. Like it's not
Effervescence.
right. It's got like a fuzziness to it where it kind of tickles your tongue and feels fizzy, but it's not.
So it was an end of harvest thing, not necessarily for us Americans, a great wine for Thanksgiving.
Right. No, because they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in France. Yes. So no, it was a harvest thing for them to celebrate.
They don't have turkeys.
Yes. Well,
But it goes so bloody well with Thanksgiving dinner.
well, of course, because if you think about it, Thanksgiving is the weirdest meal on the planet. Like, it's really odd, between the turkey and cranberries and sweet potatoes with marshmallows and green bean casserole, and I mean, it's a
Drunk ants,
right.
arguments.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fisticuffs happening in the kitchen. Somebody burnt the gravy. It's not pretty.
No.
But the amalgamation of food on the table for Thanksgiving is really quite odd. And so to find one wine that would potentially be palatable with all of that is almost impossible. So that's why I joke. It's kind of like the Coca-Cola of the wine world. Like it kind of just chill it down, and it can go with just about anything.
Like Stella Rosa.
Well, except it's so much better.
Well, you should break one out.
We're going to break one out, and the one we're breaking out first, we decided to get 3 that we wanted to try just to see if there was a big difference, if there's no difference.
I mean, not having tasted the 2025s, obviously, because that's the whole thing. Is the wine was permitted to be vinified and consumed the same year the grapes were harvested, which in France is a big no-no. But lo and behold, what I find really interesting, there are over 50 other AOCs in France that actually do allow a vin de primeur. So,
An event, which is
a wine released the same year the grapes are
okay.
grown and crushed. So it's not new. It's not exclusive just to Beaujolais, but Beaujolais certainly is the one that made it famous. And I will tell you, in my experience, there's a pretty big discrepancy. Like, not all Beaujolais Nouveaux are created equal. The one we're starting with, the Georges de Buff.
That's the guy who really started it.
Exactly. So 50, I want to say, was when the French government started legally authorizing Beaujolais Nouveau to be a thing, right? And you didn't have to like sneak around and drink it in your basement anymore. But
Very good.
there
1951.
well, how about that? And I think the marketing behind it was so brilliant because it was meant to be this very fresh, very fast release that you drank right away. And so there were races that would take place where it was who could get the wine from Beaujolais to London the fastest, and like, sidecars and hot air balloons and zeppelins. I don't know, like they used all these bizarre methods to get to London.
And was that part of the marketing ploy?
That was part of the marketing ploy. And then and Georges de Buff just kind of capitalized on the fervor of it, and just dumped a ton of marketing dollars into the artwork and the campaigning and the marketing, and that here it is, this fresh, floral, juicy, once a year kind of thing that needs to be celebrated.
Yes.
And when did it become cool? Like, would it become popular right away?
Right away. Yeah, right away. Like, really, 50s to the 60s and 70s were like the heyday of Beaujolais Nouveau. It was like that third Thursday, you might as well have thought we were French, like the way we were. Yes, Beaujolais Nouveau.
Why don't we bring those days back?
Well, it is coming back. People are, getting excited. But, just like what happened with Merlot, I think Beaujolais Nouveau met its fate with a glut of really terrible
Yes,
wine.
bad years too.
That flooded the market. Wine that really was not very good, and just like anything, people taste one and they paint with a broad brush and they think, oh, all Beaujolais Nouveau's crap because they had one crappy bottle. Not the case at all, right? But I think now, with more of the globalization of wine, people understanding, oh no, there are variances and it does depend on producer and sense of place, that you can have one and it may be meh. And then you can have another one and be like, what? This is amazing.
Yeah, I'm amazed that France did this. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a photographer giving you raw footage before he colors the film and touches it up. It's like, it is exposing a little bit. Of course, it's going to come out later, the proper way that they do.
Well, like the Beaujolais Villages and all the ones that do sit.
So the cru Beaujolais fruit is not allowed to go into this. So out of the 10 crus, 11 crus, 10 crus in Beaujolais, and then the 30 different village designations, that is not what goes into Beaujolais Nouveau for that reason, for like to maintain the standards.
Yeah.
So this is meant to be light crushable, and
it's meant to be a party in a bottle.
exactly. And to your point, it is the sneak peek into the vintage, what that year did. There's a reason why it's Gamay, because I think the grape just lends itself to this kind of style perfectly. Obviously Cru Beaujolais is very serious and they're beautiful. This is not that.
So Gamay is more of a everyday, like
They blend it with a lot of other things, right?
No, so not in Beaujolais. It's Gamay.
Mm.
But it's just stylistically, it's fruity, it's low tannin, it's high acid, and those two components right there make it immediately food friendly and super palatable, right? If we think high acid, think of like your favorite sorbet, right, as a palate cleanser, right? It's bright, it's juicy. Low tannin, it's not drying, it just goes down like water.
And does this also
Yes. That's part of the carbonic thing, is the
banana runs?
Yeah, I think Peter Stoltman does a wine like this.
He may on his carbonic side.
Yes.
So will this give us an idea how the year, the not necessarily Gamay, but the Beaujolais are gonna be? Like, if it's a shitty Beaujolais year, does that mean it's
not necessarily? I mean, not. I don't want to paint with a broad brush again. Not necessarily. Yes, it can give you a sneak peek. Carbonic maceration in this form isn't indicative of what a proper full fermentation is going to look like.
Yeah.
But it does give you an indication of ripeness and, again, acid balance, pH levels, that sort of thing. But I will say this, to the favor of carbonic, people, I think, kind of look at this as playful and silly. It's actually not as easy to make a carbonic wine as people may think it is. Like, it actually does take a bit of skill and know-how, and you have to be able to control your environment to a certain extent, or it's not going to turn out worth a damn. So it's not just kind of a dice roll.
Yeah.
It is a little more serious than I think people think it is.
And then I have heard like the past, I don't know how many years, but I know the past at least 2 to 3 years, they had bad vintages or whatever. Is that what you would call it, as a vintage? For Beaujolais Nouveau. And they're saying today, this 2025 is supposed to be a really nice year.
Tastes pretty good to me.
It does taste.
Let's do a quick break and come back. I want to talk about the region,
Okay.
the Beaujolais and all that.
Let's do that.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
If you want to know more about Inside the Bunghole, join us on all our social media platforms. You can get a revisit and view all the latest posts, giveaways, and information on this podcast. Simply search Inside the Bunghole on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. We would love to hear from you. Or you can email us at insidethebunghole@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in, and visit our website at insidethebunghole.buzzsprout.com, where you can always find our latest podcast and past episodes. Cheers!
Well, we're back.
We're back. We're back with this, and we are going to pour this one is the Pardon and Feels, or Feel, what? Fee. And James, you had a question right before we went to break. You were going to ask about the region.
Beaujolais, yeah, the region. What is that? Have you been there, or do you know about it, or?
I actually have not been to.
Funny, is it? Yeah.
I haven't been to Beaujolais. I've been to Burgundy, which is, up north. It's on the eastern side of France, and like Burgundy, it tends on the cold side. That's where we get Pinot Noir and Chardonnays, like lightning in a bottle, right? Super nice, bright, high acid fruits. That's Gamay kind of follows suit in Beaujolais the same way. They do a little bit of Pinot Noir in Beaujolais, but Gamay is their main focus.
And then with the labels, all the labels from what we understand are colorful and eye-catchy and floral and
not all. So, yes, typically from the marketing standpoint, that's how they have presented themselves. Kind of like natural wine now, because it was a little bit of a rule breaker. The labels tend to be a little more avant-garde, and that's how they set themselves apart, right? If you go into like where I have my natural wine, the labels are all really funky and colorful, and it's because these are the wines that are kind of breaking the rules a little bit, just like Beaujolais did when it started. The Domaine du Peb from Kermit Lynch, you can see on that, that's a really traditional label.
Yes.
Because it, to their point, they are a very serious Beaujolais house. And so the marketing isn't what it's about for them.
Yeah.
They're making something fun, juicy, and drinkable without the advertising behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it better to serve it a little cooler?
Yes, chill it. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want it, cold, not like you're a champagne, but you definitely want it chilled. You guys, I think, know by now, my bandwagon is I chill everything. Chill all your reds, chill it down. Everything is more palatable when it's cooler. Nobody should be drinking warm anything, wine especially.
Coffee.
Coffee should be hot. Not warm. I don't want warm coffee. I want hot coffee and I want cold beverages. But yeah, Beaujolais is just delicious with a little bit of chill. And again, with the Thanksgiving dinner and with food, it just, it's the perfect alternative to a soda or a beer.
Yeah.
Just drink some Beaujolais.
I kind of have a feeling the tannins is this so different from the last one. Sad.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like the inside of my cheek.
And how would they so DeBoeuf he's the OG.
Yeah.
And then the other ones they're just different vineyards doing the same.
And different producers.
Yeah.
Yeah, different producers do it. Same process, same idea behind it. Let's celebrate the end of harvest with something crushable that we can sit around and drink. I think to your point, James, it is surprising that France was the ones to do this because they are rule followers. They are very adherent to their laws and they take their laws very seriously. Again, not to get super geeky, but it's kind of like an Edelsvicker, a Gemichtersatz, right? Where you have grape growers and winemakers that are kind of secretly breaking the rules with left behind this thing, right?
Yeah.
This is what we're drinking in our basement where the shades are drawn. Nobody can know what we're doing in here. Knock 3 times on the door and say the password and you can come in and have some with us. Because this is a country that it took over 20 years for them to legalize screw caps. I mean, this is not a country that is quick to get on trends.
Very dry, very dry.
Yeah.
Very dry wine.
Definitely softer acid. You can it's a bigger wine. It's definitely fuller bodied, definitely a little higher in the tannins. I would venture to say this had additional skin contact on it than the DeBoeuf, where that DeBoeuf is pretty classic, just light, fresh, and super fruity. This is definitely I don't want to say trying to be a little more serious, but you can see that there's more weight in body to this.
Yeah. Well, if anyone wants to have fun, I mean, it's a very inexpensive way to.
Yeah, they all are priced, around the $20-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a good, affordable Thanksgiving wine. You're not going to go broke.
Well, and typically they have lower alcohol too. Although I will say I tasted a Cru Beaujolais yesterday from Fleury that was 14.5% alcohol, which whoa, that's pretty high for any kind of Beaujolais. But the nice thing about most Nouveaux is, again, the alcohol content is lower. And so, to your point, when Aunt Margie tipples one too many, it takes a little longer if she's drinking Beaujolais, so she might behave herself a little longer through dinner.
What's this last one you quoted, and why did we save it for last?
So kind of in my mind, I was going less serious to more serious, and I'm kind of hesitant to use the word serious with Beaujolais Nouveau, but I figured, DeBoeuf is mass produced.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one you're always going to see everywhere, kind of that classic. I'm not familiar with the producer of the second one that we tasted, which is the Pardon a Fille. The third one we're tasting is a Kermit Lynch import. In my mind, Kermit Lynch can do no wrong. Everything they import, be it French or Italian, is just spectacular. I carry the Domaine du Peb Beaujolais Village, which is a staple. And so when they come out with their Nouveau, I just know this producer is putting out exceptional wine.
It's actually wonderful.
Isn't it amazing?
It's like not
Okay, let me get a swig of the good stuff.
And Beaujolais is kind of, are they Are you able to get them anywhere?
I mean, t- ideally, yes. Like anything, you have to order it, and it's a very short window of time for a retailer to get it. And now that it's gaining popularity again, they're finding they're getting back into that kind of crunch that they faced in the 70s and early 80s, where getting Nouveau out of France and to other countries in that timely manner is difficult. Like at one point, they were shipping it over on the Concorde, right? I mean, blasting it out any way they can.
Yeah.
And, there are airplanes and carriers that are dedicated to simply picking up loads and pallets of Nouveau and flying it over.
And Nouveau is when can you get it? Like how long of a period of time is it available? And I do also want to
Hold that question before the Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One break and we'll wrap it up.
Okay. We'll be back in just a flash.
If you want to know more about Inside the Bunghole, join us on all our social media platforms. You can get a revisit and view all the latest posts, giveaways, and information on this podcast. Simply search Inside the Bunghole on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. We would love to hear from you. Or you can email us at insidethebunghole@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in, and visit our website at insidethebunghole.buzzsprout.com, where you can always find our latest podcast and past episodes. Cheers!
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
You had a
Okay,
question,
so
Pam,
I did. And
And you're-
you're going to ask me what my question was, aren't you? No. Oh, the time period. Because it's only available for a very short period of time. So that's what kind of also brings the party atmosphere and all that.
Right. Supply and demand. You get it now or lose out forever. So originally, it was available the third Thursday of November. That's when it was released. That's when you got it. Really no other way around it. Now, kind of like how Black Friday starts on Tuesday and Monday. Okay, so now you can start getting Beaujolais Nouveau before that Thursday. Like this arrived to the shop on Tuesday. And I think that would have been the earliest I could get it. But, they are now releasing it a little bit before, so you can actually have the product on that Thursday to properly celebrate. And it's a case of when it's gone, it's gone. I mean, they make precious little of it.
Yeah.
Probably
on purpose.
Oh, right, exactly. So September, the harvest is over. These grapes are dedicated to Nouveau. It's released. You buy it, you drink it, and then you wait for the next year.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Because you don't hold on to this, Mike.
No.
Yeah. And what do you say to someone listening to this podcast now going, let's try it. Let's try a new Beaujolais and fun with it. Relax.
So I think it should be said it's not your grandma's Beaujolais anymore. The Nouveaux now are every bit as good as they were when they first kind of hit the market and were released, and there was that initial excitement about them. It's coming back to that, where that, freshness and that quality, they're striving for that again. Not all Nouveau is made the same. Remember that. Just because you have one that you don't like don't write them all off. And if you try a Beaujolais Nouveau and you chill it and you love it, go take another step and try then a Beaujolais Village. Then take another step and try a Cru Beaujolais. Something like a Moulin Avant or a Morgon or Bruy, something, from site specific, and you're going to be amazed. They're so different. From Fleury, that's kind of lighter and a little more feminine, to Côte de Bruy, which is very masculine and broad-shouldered and deep and hearty. It is not a grape that is static across all of these AOCs. So,
what is your palate tasting on this last one?
This is lovely, by the way. I love it.
I get there's just such a pretty kind of herbaceousness, kind of like that bouquet garni when you're cooking, like slow cooking something, and you can just sort of smell the herbs. And I get a little bit of mushroom, and then I get that classic kind of Bing cherry, black cherry kind of essence.
I'm getting a little smoky.
Yep, it definitely. So, and that's the other thing too, is Gamay can have a little bit of gaminess to it, a little bit. Nothing off-putting, but that's one of its appeals is that it kind of can walk that line between fruity and savory
Yeah.
that I think is really intriguing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
everybody, go get a bottle of Beaujolais Nouveau.
Expand your mind.
Expand your horizons. And if you don't like the first one, try a different one
Yeah.
until at least you get drunk.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do on
Which is
Beaujolais
hard to
Nouveau.
do.
This is something my father-in-law always did in the early 90s on. He would always, oh, wow, what Thursday is this? You know, it was I was around this. So
And it's a
Oh,
day,
great.
and it is an international day. It's a big thing.
It's a big thing. And it's, I feel like, especially in today's climate, having an international celebration around something like wine is so welcome. Right?
Yes.
Let's all like band together. Let's drink some fabulously juicy, fun wine and press on.
Because we could all agree on it, right?
Yeah, because we can
Yes,
all
we can
agree
all
on
be
it.
friends around the bunghole.
Katie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It's always I love the way that you explain, and your descriptives are beautiful. It's so much fun.
Walk and chew bubble gum.
At the same time. Thank you so much, you guys. This is great.
If you want to know more about Inside the Bunghole, join us on all our social media platforms. You can get a revisit and view all the latest posts, giveaways, and information on this podcast. Simply search Inside the Bunghole on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. We would love to hear from you. Or you can email us at insidethebunghole@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in, and visit our website at insidethebunghole.buzzsprout.com, where you can always find our latest podcast and past episodes. Cheers!